Good morning, my name is John Thompson. I'm one of the board members here at Parkview, and I'm here with Mr. Sattler and Mr. Luety. They teach in tech ed, ag classes, and so we're just going to have a conversation with them about what they do, Referendum, how that impacts what they can do better. And so I'm just going to ask you guys just briefly, what got you into teaching and why Parkview?
You want to start, Chuck?
Sure. My name's Chuck Sattler. Teach agriculture and FFA. I got into teaching because when I was in high school, I honestly didn't know what I wanted to do, and I started talking with my ag teacher and actually with my 4-H agent. I was heavy in 4-H as well, and she encouraged me to go into teaching, and so I went to Platteville for ag education, and then my wife got a job in the area, and Parkview hired me, and Dave was on the hiring committee, and 10 years later, here we are.
Okay.
So I'm Dave Luety, and my story is a little similar. I graduated from Parkview, and I was actually thinking about going into engineering because my grandfather was an engineer and taught me a lot about that. But I had a teacher here, Mr. Ernie Mills, and he got me on as a TA and stuff, and he's like, you should really think about going to teaching. You're good at it. You work great with kids. And I thought about it, and I was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot. So I went off to college for what it was originally Phi Ed, and decided, you know what, I could do tech ed and still do that engineering stuff, and that's what I really enjoy. So I got into teaching that way, and started out my career at Bullitt Memorial in Wilmot, and then the past this is my 12th year here at Parkview, so I was able to come back and follow in the footsteps of the person that got me into teaching. So.
Cool. So what classes do you guys teach? What programs? Like what are you involved with as far as helping students?
So I teach a wide variety of classes. A lot of all the agriculture ones, large animal, small animal, horticulture. We have the greenhouse with egg business, egg power and engines, or they learn about how engines operate. Then I also teach welding. We have MIG and arc welding. Students learn how to use. We have mini forges, chop saws, band saws. Give them the basic introduction to the tools that they would use if they went into a manufacturing industry career.
And I teach construction, woodworking, engineering, CAD work, robotics, and then we also have a trades math course that I teach, and then a geometry and construction course. So a lot of the other aspects of the trades that are in this area, especially the construction, there's a huge area of that around here. So we teach all those, just working with giving the kids the basics so that they can get a head start in their youth apprenticeship if they choose to go that route.
Yeah, we talked with Hannah about youth apprenticeships and how successful that's been the last few years.
Yeah, it's been great. The kids are really enjoying it and learning, and honestly, you learn a lot in school, but you get out there in the job site and you really start to grow your knowledge and actually grow as a person too.
Yeah, and my son Christopher was in your welding class, and his whole high school career was like me just trying to drag him across the finish line. But he took that class, and we've always told him he's a smart kid. And you taught him welding, and he just thrived in it, and that taught him that he could do something different than what traditional classes addressed. And so, and I know that one thing that we're going to do is, if the referendum does pass, we're going to add a teacher, a full-time teacher, to kind of help in this area. How's that going to benefit students?
Yeah, go first.
Sure, I can. So right now, Mr. Sattler and I are both maxed at what we can teach for classes because of the load. So adding this would be able to expand the classes and offerings that we have for the kids, because we have a lot of kids. For instance, right now we have one woodworking class because we just don't have room for another. So this teacher would come in, we'd be able to offer more of those woodworking classes. We'd be able to offer some more advanced construction courses. We'd also be able to bring back junior high tech ed, which we had for many years.
So we don't have that right now.
Right now we don't. No, unfortunately, it just doesn't fit in the schedule, and so we had to cut it a few years ago. So we'd be able to bring that back, and possibly even sixth grade exploratory course.
Okay, cool.
And on the agriculture side of it, we're looking at we have an 8th grade agriculture class, maybe having a 6th grade ag tech exploratory class, and then having a greenhouse management. Right now our horticulture course is a science credit, so we focus more on the science aspect of it, meeting those standards. But then we could have a class that is solely dedicated to learning how to run a greenhouse, and then having welding 2. Right now, welding 1, they learn the basics, how to run the machine, the different types of metals. But then welding 2, we'd be able to go more advanced, how to read blueprints, how to design those, how to build your product, your design so that the product will be structurally sound.
Yeah, and the things like you're talking about, like if they wanted to go to Blackhawk Tech and really get into those trades, this is just going to give them, early preparation on those things, which is invaluable.
Yeah, it's really going to give our students an advantage over a lot of areas that don't offer this type of stuff.
And if they're getting introduced to, maybe in like 6th grade, we're not introducing them to welding or to woodworking, but if we're introducing them to a little bit of the engineering side of it, where they're might learn just the basics on how to maybe use CAD as they go older and they start applying or become interested in YAs or youth apprentice. The students have to apply for it, and anything that we can show that put our students at the top will make them more marketable, and get a YA, and that leads to a full-time career. Making $25-$30 an hour starting right out of high school.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people are talking about. We talk about work shortages for employees, and this really helps fast track some of these kids. So
yeah, the skilled trades are desperate for people right now. All the baby boomers retiring, and there's really just a ton of jobs that the students can apply for.
Yeah, cool.
And in welding, I have a relationship with Kuhn and Broadhead, Stoughton Trailer, United Alloy, Scott Forge, and all of them come to my class every year, early every semester, to try to recruit workers. We go and we tour their facilities, and every time they say, hey, whether you have a little bit of experience, no experience, or you're a master of it, we'll bring you in, and we'll take anybody, because those are what they need, just like Dave said.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Mr. Sattler, you are involved in FFA. I know FFA's had a really good year. Why don't you just tell people what that is, and how would an additional staff member really help with that too?
So Parkview FFA this year has 92 members, which is the largest youth organization at Parkview. And our students throughout the year, it really starts in July with our Rock County Fair, and then they go to State Fair, and then throughout the school year we have speaking contests, we have judging contests, we hosted our district speaking contest this year. We along with Broadhead, we put on one of the largest Food for America events for 4th graders in the state. In the spring, we do a Egg on the Hill event teaching the 2nd through 6th graders here at Parkview how about different aspects of agriculture. And last summer, Wisconsin FFA, they allowed, or they're now saying that if you have an ag teacher who teaches a class in 6th grade, 6th graders can join FFA. And so not only would that increase our numbers, but that's more community service. That's opportunities. We'd received our national chapter recognition this past year, and the more community service that we can do will allow us to not only benefit the community, but also have Parkview receive more recognition on the national level.
Okay, cool. So is there anything else you guys want to add, like benefits that passing this referendum might help give to students or staff that you just kind of been thinking about? We did this with Hannah too. She had some things she wanted to share. So anything else you guys would like to share?
Yeah, so one of the big things is our articulated classes that we have. With this referendum passing, we'll be able to have more of those classes. So that what articulated means is a student takes our class, they're able to get credit at Blackhawk Tech for that class. So rather than when they graduate, if they want to go into, like say, robotics, they've already got some of those classes out of the way. They don't have to pay for those. They're already paid for and covered. And it gives them an advantage over a lot of students because now you're going to be getting out in the workforce sooner than other people because you already have that experience in those credits. So that's one thing that's going to be positive with it.
Yeah, post-secondary credits are huge if you can get
Yeah.
those because it's so expensive to go
It
to
is.
those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when I think about passing the referendum is bringing on the additional staff members, whether it's FACE, whether it's ag tech, the business positions. The class sizes right now are very large. My large animal class has 34 students, and it is very difficult to not only classroom management wise, but we do a lot of hands-on activities, dissections. We do different labs on how diseases spread, and the students are still benefiting from the labs, but a smaller setting where we could have more of that one-on-one interactions if they have questions. I think the smaller class sizes is one thing that Parkview has always prided itself on. And so hiring these additional students will make the classrooms more manageable and will increase the education that's going on in the classrooms. And I think that anything we can do to help better the education of our students is what we need to do.
Yeah, because in your hands-on classes, if people are just watching, they're not really engaging with what they're doing, and then they're missing, key things that they need to be doing.
Yep. There's a difference between, in my egg power class we tear apart engines, and I only have so many engines.
Right.
And so in the past I've had it where I can have one student per engine, and they're doing the whole thing. Now with my larger classes, they have to be partners, and one, you try to tell the students, hey, equally do it, but you always have one group member who seems to take it over, and it's not a fault at anyone, but it's if we had smaller class sizes, that learning experience just improves that much.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thanks, guys, for your time. If you have questions about what we talked about today or about what the referendum's going to cover with these classes and teachers, I mean, we're heavy into practical, useful things in the teachers that we're going to hire. So we hope you'll support it. Dr. Anderson can answer any questions that you have. And guys, thank you for your time.
Thank you.